Welcome back. Jane, it's great to have you on Community Champions.
Thank you.
You know, I have always admired what you've done with the Chamber, and I'm glad I've got you here to ask you some questions, but I'll try not to make them too hard, okay?
That'd be good.
Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the Chamber and how you brought the Chamber under your leadership from where it was then to where it is now.
Well, I had a lot of help. I didn't do it all by myself. But in 1973, I was working in the school system, Troup County school system, and heard about a part-time job at the Chamber of Commerce, and had no idea what the Chamber of Commerce did. I just saw pictures in the paper of cutting ribbons and groundbreakings, and I thought that'd be a neat job to have, and I applied for the job. It was a part-time job, and I got it. And then I thought, what do I do now? But I found out really quick, and it's a job that you do a variety of things, and it's a fun job because you're working with people, and it grew from a part-time job making $2 an hour at the time in 1973 to a full-time job today, 31 years later. I'm still at it, and I love it.
Well, very good, and you've done a tremendous job. How many members does the Chamber have now?
Well, the Chamber now has about 730 members, and if you go back to 1973, when I did go to work there, we only had 115 members, and we had a budget of $35,000 back then, and today it's close to $400,000, counting the Chamber and the tourism side.
So been significant growth that you've seen over the last 31 years.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. How about staff members? How many did you have back then? You were probably the only one back then.
Well, there was 1.5, and I was the half.
You were the half?
I was the half. Today we have 5 staff members. We also have housed in our offices the Downtown Development Authority, which is 1.5 people. So we all work together.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know you've been involved in a lot of things with the industry that has come to LaGrange in that period of time. Tell me something that you would consider one of the best accomplishments, or one that you'd be most proud of during that 31 years.
Well, actually, when I went to work in 1973, that was the year that the Development Authority had just been created, and they had just bought the land in the LaGrange Industrial Park. They had roughly 350 acres. And so I got in on the ground floor from day one. I started working with the Development Authority, working with projects that came in and looked. And today, the LaGrange Industrial Park has 1,600 acres, over 30 major industries, and about 20 smaller support industries. And we've got some well-known names out there, and I enjoyed working with every one of them. I've worked with every industry that has come in since 1973, which is most of them. The only thing that was out there at the time was Interface. Interface had already located there, and General Fibers and Fabrics. So I'm very proud of the industry that has come in and the jobs they've created. And I can't say that one was more exciting than another. They're all different. Every project that we work on is different, but I've enjoyed working with all the different industries.
I'm sure you have, and I know it's really interesting. Being in LaGrange for the period of time that I have, I know some of the unique things that are in LaGrange, but what do people see in LaGrange that makes them want to come here or to bring their industry or their business to LaGrange?
Well, when they're looking, they're also looking at probably 5 or 6 other cities in Georgia and probably all over the southeast. For instance, when Caterpillar was looking, I think they were looking at 40 cities from Texas to North Carolina. And the challenge of trying to get them to locate here is exciting, but what they're looking for is labor availability, transportation routes in and out for their trucks and products that's to be shipped. Livability is a very large part of it, and the proximity to the Atlanta airport all play a part in it. So it's 4 or 5 things that they're all looking at. And LaGrange fits the bill on all of that. You can get to the airport faster here than you can on the north side of Atlanta. We've got plenty of labor availability from the counties surrounding us. We draw from a 7-county area, and then the livability can't be beat here.
Well, you know, since we're doing this show from West Georgia Technical College, and by the way, as you know, the students here that are doing this are students in the video productions area.
Right.
So we applaud them as we do this.
Absolutely.
Tell me what role that West Georgia Technical College has played in bringing industry in, and what role it will play in the future.
Oh, they play a role in every industry that comes. One of the things that we do when an industry comes is take them, either stop off at West Georgia Technical College or drive by and tell them all about it. But the Quick Start training program is very valuable to an industry, and they are amazed that what the state of Georgia and technical colleges can do for them if they locate in Georgia. And you know, education plays a big part in it because they want a trained labor force, and the classes that are offered here suits the bill for most of the industry here. So with the Quick Start training and the classes that are available, they're very impressed, and the facilities that you have here are impressive at the Callaway Center, and we hope in the future that we have more impressive buildings to show.
Yeah, we're working on that too.
That's right.
Well, you know, unfortunately, over the last few years, we've had a loss of jobs. We've had some of the people I know that you helped bring here who have actually moved away. I know that's got to be disappointing to you. Tell me a little bit about how you feel about that, and maybe a little bit about what you see in the future in terms of bringing new industry or new people to LaGrange.
It is disappointing after you work so hard to bring an industry to town and they stay here a while, and then you hear they're closing to move to Mexico or somewhere else. And not a single industry has closed because of something that has happened here in LaGrange. It's all corporate decisions made elsewhere, downsizing or corporate buyouts or just trying to cut their costs by moving somewhere for cheaper labor. And it is disappointing, but I think that, you know, we went through a period in the last year or two where it was very slow growth. We were not seeing anybody making any decisions to move or go anywhere. But this year, it has already picked up. Since the first of the year, our phones have started ringing, and we've had visitors here looking at sites and buildings. And the buildings that we have, we hope that we can fill, and I feel very confident that this year and next year is going to be a good year for bringing more industry in.
Well, that's great. That brings up another question I want to ask you too. How does the chamber market itself, or how do you and the people at the chamber market LaGrange and Troup County?
Well, the Chamber of Commerce and the Development Authority of LaGrange work hand in hand. The Development Authority is an appointed board appointed by the city of LaGrange. The Chamber, of course, is the business side of that. But my responsibility as president of the Chamber is to work with the Development Authority, and we work very closely with the state of Georgia. The state has a Department of Economic Development, and as well as all of the utility companies. Oglethorpe Power, which Diverse Power is one of their companies, Georgia Power, and then MEAG, the Municipal Electric Authority of Georgia, all have economic development representatives in their companies, and then consultants, economic development consultants around the United States. We make sure they know about LaGrange. We send them information. We do some advertising. We don't do a lot of advertising in trade publications, but occasionally we do. And then we go to trade shows. It may be a plastic show, it may be an automotive related show, trade show, and we'll have a booth there promoting our community and handing out information.
Well, I know that in addition to those things, I'll pat you on the back a little bit. I know that you're known statewide as someone who can help get industry in, and I know the state even turns to you and looks to you for help. You've received some awards. Tell us a little bit about your association and how you work with them when they have somebody that wants to come into the state.
I'm proud to say that LaGrange is recognized for the progress that we have made and the things that we have to offer industry. And when the state's talking to some other cities and counties in Georgia, and they want to go somewhere to see how it's done right, they recommend LaGrange. So we've sort of been a training board for a lot of the cities and counties in Georgia to show them how to develop an industrial park, how to build spec buildings, how to work with prospects. And I didn't mention the other industrial park that we have, Jim Hamilton Industrial Park. But we take them out and show them how we develop it with utilities and infrastructure, and how we work as a team. It is a team effort. It's not one person doing anything, but it's everybody working together.
And that is a real tribute to you that they come here to look at that. So we appreciate that. You are truly a community champion from that standpoint.
Well, I just sort of coordinate everything, make sure I get everybody together.
Yeah. Just real quickly, tell me, if you were going to sell the Chamber of Commerce to a business, tell me why, as a business person, I should be a member of the Chamber.
Okay. Well, the Chamber does a lot of different things. We don't just work on bringing industry to town, but we do have a small business committee where we work with small businesses that we do workshops, seminars to help them to start a business. We coordinate with places like West Georgia Technical College to put on seminars and workshops on how to start a business. We do a lot of lobbying for things such as helping West Georgia Tech get a new building. In fact, we've got some legislative things coming up really soon I'd like to talk about in a little bit. But education, we have an education committee that works with the school systems, the public and private school systems, partners in education. Tourism is another big thing that we do, promoting Troup County as a tourism spot with West Point Lake and all the recreational fields, ball fields, baseball, softball fields, and tournaments. We work very closely on that.
So there's just a lot of different ways that the community benefits. We're getting short on time. You mentioned a couple of legislative ideas or agendas that you wanted to speak about in a couple of minutes. Can you tell me about those?
I will. On February the 22nd, Congressman Len Westmoreland will be at the Chamber of Commerce at 10 a.m. And the first thing he will do is present a congressional medal to a deserving young man, I think he's a 16-year-old young man, for the work he did with Habitat for Humanity here in LaGrange and Troup County. And it's unusual for a congressional medal to be given to a young man like this. And after he presents that award, he wants to meet with the public to talk about issues concerning our community. He's on the Transportation Committee and the Small Business Committee, and he wants to meet with our Small Business Committee and other small businesses and talk about what he can do to help small businesses here in LaGrange and Troup County.
Wow.
And then the second thing is March 1st, we're taking a group to Atlanta. We call it our Atlanta Drive-In. And we'll be taking vans to the Capitol, and we'll meet with our state delegation, have a tour of the Capitol, have lunch with our delegation, and thank them for what they're doing. And so we hope we have a big crowd on March 1st, and we welcome the public to go with us. And if you want more information, call us at the Chamber of Commerce, and we'll tell you all about it.
Okay, great. We appreciate so much you being here. Just a tremendous amount of information. In fact, we need longer to talk about it.
Oh, I could talk all day about what the Chamber of Commerce does.
We appreciate what you do, and we appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
My guest has been Jane Fryer, President of the LaGrange Troup County Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate you watching our show. If you have someone that you would like to nominate to be a community champion, please let us know. You can contact me at ronix@charter.net. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.